First and foremost, welcome to my dungeon, I guess you could say. Let's talk about the new Neck Deep record. So, Neck Deep, they're a band that I never really was much of a fan of, to be perfectly honest. I had the chance to see them live when they toured with Seaway as well as Speak Low If You Speak Love, so I went to that show for those two bands, stuck around for a little bit, couple songs from Neck Deep, and went, okay, I think I've heard enough, I'm good. It just kind of moved on from there. They were just kind of, another band to me. But with this record, I gotta say, I like it a lot. Now, there's something going on here that I think I keep comparing in my own brain anyway, to Proper Dose from The Story So Far. The Story So Far was also a band that, kind of listening to their earlier stuff. Now, here's the thing. Let me I guess explain something first. I kind of, if you've listened to the podcast at all, you know that there was a period of time where, I kind of stopped listening to pop punk, stopped listening to punk for the most part, especially newer stuff. And then there was a time when I went, I got to get back into this. What's going on? I got to listen to this stuff more. And so, bands like The Story So Far and Neck Deep and The Wonder Years, Real Friends, Knuckle Puck, stuff like that, they were all bands that when I was first getting back into the music, they were kind of the bands that everyone was recommending. And so, I fell in love with The Wonder Years. Really liked Real Friends, really liked Knuckle Puck, but bands like The Story So Far and Neck Deep were two bands that, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into. And so, I was never really excited about new music coming out from these bands. I thought, I'll take a listen, but that's about it. That's about it. That's where that'll end. And so, with The Story So Far, when Proper Dose came out, there was just something different about it that they were doing. And I know a lot of people, a lot of, longtime Story So Far fans weren't very big on the new record because there had been some changes made. It was obvious. A lot of people kept saying, oh, Parker Cannon, he just wants to be an Oasis sort of thing, which it's kind of funny when you see some of their live performances where he's kind of modeled himself after. But regardless, the music on that record I really, really dug. They did something a little different. Sonically, it sounded different from what they were doing before, and they kind of opened up, I thought, a little bit. They'd also mellowed out in certain ways, and that's something that I've noticed with the new Neck Deep record as well, is that they've kind of changed things up a little bit. Maybe not as much as The Story So Far, but I do think that these two records, Neck Deep, All Distortions, as well as The Proper Dose by The Story So Far, are two records that complement each other really well. In sound, in just kind of overall vibe on the records. But I think going into both of those records, and specifically, I know I said let's talk about Neck Deep, so let's try and focus on Neck Deep. Going into this record, I had no expectations. Like the bar I had set was so low for what I thought this record was going to be. And to be honest, I think that's probably played, a big role in my kind of the feelings I have towards this record, in that, I had no expectations. So when I put it on, I went, okay. Like the first couple singles, wasn't a big fan of. I kind of went, yeah, okay. They clearly kind of changed things up a little bit. And then, it's like the third single came out or what have you. I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this. Now, here's the thing. When putting the record on, I found that even those singles I didn't like, off the top, I do like where they sit in the record and how they feel. And all in all, if you've been listening to the podcast at all, by the way, if you're just finding out about, if you're just watching this because I'm talking about Neck Deep, we got a podcast called Growing Up Punk where we talk about punk rock and all of its friends. So I've just decided to kind of start doing some video reviews or discussions, I should say, on newer music or other records, because I don't like to say the reviews because I never give grades or anything like that. If you want to listen to it, go listen to it. I just like talking about music I like. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, yeah. Classic me. Here's the thing. So I spent the last month and a half or so driving across Canada and back. And on the way back, we left the day that this new Neck Deep record came out. And we left early in the morning. And actually, shout out to James or Bassie from Between You and Me, because he had tweeted about it. And of course, him being in Australia, had the advantage of it being a better time of day for him, but I just happened to open Twitter that morning because I thought I'm going to forget to download this. I wanted to download it for the drive so I could listen to it, but I thought I'm going to forget to download this. I happened to open Twitter kind of when I got up in the morning, and Bassie had tweeted about it. So I was like, cool, we are in. Downloaded it. It was the first thing I listened to on the drive, and I listened to it several times over the course of the drive. And so I kind of had a chance to really get into it and appreciate it. And so it's forever going to be tied to driving a big ass RV across the country while listening to Neck Deep. It's just the way it is. That's the way music works, I think. So, but I thoroughly enjoy the record. So I would say this. If you're like me, not maybe a big fan of Neck Deep, if you're looking for something that's going to be like fast, aggressive punk or pop punk, you're not going to find that here. There are definitely some upbeat songs, some quicker songs, but I mean, they've kind of, I want to say overall, taken a step back in regards to kind of like the tone of Neck Deep, the I don't know if angst is even the right word. You know what I'm saying? It feels a little bit different, but it's a really good listen. So I'd recommend it. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I don't do grades. I don't do anything like that. So I'm just going to tell you about new music that I'm enjoying. And I happen to be enjoying the new record from Neck Deep. So that is that. That's all I have to say. I didn't take note to like write down any tracks because I thought I just want to try doing this and sitting down and talking about this real quick. So just go listen to the whole record. And maybe if I do more of these, I'll make this look less like a storage room, because it is a storage room. I'm sitting in a storage room right now. There's a little picture behind me that's a sweet Photoshop that I did of myself and my friend Pete as Sid and Nancy. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Maybe there'll be more pictures on the wall. I don't know. If you like these video reviews, let me know. Again, I called it a review. If you like these video discussions, let me know, because I'd love to do more of them. I think it'll be fun. So anyway, I guess I'm supposed to do some sort of like official sign off. So go listen to the podcast, Growing Up Punk. You can find it wherever you find podcasts. And I guess go follow us on our social media stuff as well, at Growing Punk Pod. That'll do it though. So bye-bye.